Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. I am very, very happy that you joined us here today. And joining me, I always love getting to do the program with Dr. Jill Hubbard. But when we open up the program, we say wisdom from God's Word. Well, she gets a lot of her wisdom from God's Word, as does our special guest today, Dr. John Townsend. Hey, John and Jill, how you guys doing today?
We are good.
Good, Steve.
Well, I'm glad that you are.
Yeah.
John, you have been up to so many things. We've got the Townsend Institute that anybody can find out about by going to Townsend Institute. You just bring that up on Google and it takes you there to the Townsend Institute. And then also, you in that program, you've got a bachelor's degree now that you could earn in the Townsend Institute, which is really,
and a
really
PhD
cool.
next year, actually, in counseling.
PhD in counseling
Seriously?
next
Wow.
year.
In first quarter. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
Awesome.
exciting. So you can access that. Also, John does a little radio program online on Wednesday from 2 to 4 Pacific time. And so you can find that, John, by doing what?
Just go to Dr. Townsend. Dr. Townsend. It's called, and it'll give you how to get there. It's called Dr. Townsend Live. We're there for a couple hours, and I do a video call-in, Steve. So I'm on with, you can see my mug, but you also see the caller's face, and I get a lot of information from their, you know how it is, their expressions, their eyes, their mouth, and we just solve problems. And so 2 hours once a week.
Awesome, really, really great. And we're glad that you're here. And if anybody has any information on John, what he's been doing wrong, let us know, because we're big fans of him. And but
that's a long list, Steve.
Yeah. Well, John and Henry and Dave Stoop and all of us, we've been around a while, and it's been quite a great journey with Dr. Jill and a few of the others. But we've been doing this for a lot of years.
Steve, it's just
So
starting.
fun.
It's just starting. Don't sound like it's the finish line, man.
Yeah, it is just starting. Anyway, but you could join us, if you're watching on Facebook Live, you could join us live at 1-800-229-3000. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the phones, and we're going to start off with Clara, who is calling from New York. Hi, Clara. How are you?
Yes, hello. My question is, how important is truth and disclosure? And should I ask my husband to take a lie detector test, because he's been acting out for 15 years of our marriage, smoking weed with women coworkers, and on the last job, there was an affair at the job, and a woman came over and beat him in the chest and beat him outside. In front of me. We were there in 3 minutes, and he said it was nothing.
And so he tells you that this really isn't something that you should be concerned with?
I said, the two of you are doing more than just having coffee in the morning.
Yeah. And so
I want to know what about a lie detector test? Does that happen?
Well, how about we try to help him grow in character versus we just find out when he lies about doing something crummy. What about that?
He's been in 2 sex addict classes, and they haven't helped.
Yeah, but he's never been to ours. He's never been to Every Man's Battle. And almost every guy that goes discovers it's really a great relief to not playing out the role of a bad little boy looking at dirty pictures. They love being the man. They love being the man again, and they find themselves.
He said he only went to the sex addict classes for me. He was fired on the job.
Actually, we don't care why they come. Once we get them, we work with them.
I'm 433 pounds.
How long have you weighed that much?
I've probably been over 300 at least 15, 20 years. I'm 39. Feel like I've just been a failure in every area of my life.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. The weight we carry on the outside is often a result of the burdens we carry on the inside. If you want to reduce your inner burden, New Life's Lose It for Life online workshop can help. The workshop features 6 main sessions presented by Steve Arterburn on topics like obsessions and compulsions and rethinking fitness, plus small group sessions led by a credentialed New Life Network counselor. This one-day online video conference workshop takes place Saturday, August 1st. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that incorporates the latest research, practical steps, and biblical truth for achieving long-term success, call 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back talking with Clara, and really some complications here. And I'm hoping that we can give you some solid help here. Jill, you had a thought.
Well, I think that we can't ignore the chronic pot use. And
Absolutely.
as harmless as some people want to make it out to be, chronic use affects your behavior, affects your brain, it affects your character and your maturity level, and that has to be addressed as well. So if he's just going to a few sex addict classes,
Right.
continuing to, use pot every day, I don't know how effective it's going to be.
No, and I don't know of any scripture that says, seek ye first pot, and all these things will be
Right.
added unto you. I don't know of anybody that's done well with pot. Maybe they're
got you to laugh, Clara.
independent. Maybe they're independently wealthy and they don't need to earn a living, or they have no goals in life. But I'm just not seeing a lot, not even online. And people aren't even making it up. Hey, ever since I started smoking pot, life has just all come together. So you have to deal with that.
Gallons of empty bottles of vodka.
Yeah.
behind
Hey,
me.
listen.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing.
Okay, and addicts
Here's
lie.
the thing.
Big surprise, right?
Clara,
They lie about everything.
He is not going to change until you change. You are the person that has to have the change of heart. You have to get into a codependency group. You can no longer be complicit with allowing 3 or 4 addictions, and then you're just saying, hey, let me
Get
give
a
him a
lie-
lie detector
yeah.
test. He
Just
needs
assume
to-
he lies.
You must demand that he get help. And if he won't get help, then you need to have at least a legal separation. Maybe that would wake him up. We need to wake him up, but you're not even a real human to him. Women are objects to him, not people. You're a woman. And until you stand up and say to him, I am a human being, and here's what I require of you, I don't think he's going to change.
Okay.
And this isn't
that's
a
hard.
way of life for
Christian
you.
counseling.
What?
Where can I get Christian counseling?
You hold on,
We
and
can
we're
get
going
you
to try
some
to find
referrals.
some, because we have some great Christian counselors all over the country
Is there a
here.
book that I can read? I'm already.
Well, I'm gonna send you 2
Oh,
books.
yeah.
One book I'm going to read and send you is it's going to be Take Your Life Back. That's for you, and Every Man's Battle for Him. What book did you say you were reading?
I think she said Intimate Deception.
Yeah. Okay. Well, these books are really going to help you, and they're going to help him. And you're going to have to get with other women. You've got to develop relationships with other women that will help you see and get the support that you need to get.
Can I make another suggestion
Yes,
real quick?
please.
Clara,
Please.
by the way, you're our favorite person because that's Steve's mom's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need the support, but you need what I would call a path, P-A-T-H, path, because it's complicated. You don't have these skills. I would see a good Christian counselor that will send you and just walk in and say, it's a mess, I've tried everything, and let that person say, number 1, do this, number 2, do this, number 3. Because it's complicated to know where to set the limit, what the consequences be, where do I go, and to tell him, here's what I require and need. So get somebody to give you a path, and that only can come from a really good Christian counselor.
I'm really glad you called, and I'm glad what John is saying here. So you need support, you need friendship, and you need a path, and a Christian counselor can
There you
do
go.
that. So 1-800-NEW-LIFE if anybody else is in this same situation. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. All right, let's go to Cindy, Houston, Texas. She listens on the New Life app. Hi, Cindy. How are you, and how can we help you today?
Hi, I'm good, I think. My question is,
That was honest.
my 13-year-old son just told me that he thinks he's bisexual. And I have no idea what to do with that.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. And so I'm just curious if you feel like that he has been with anybody that is bisexual or homosexual for any extended period of time. Is there somebody that you think may have had many discussions with him about that?
Not as far as I know. No, I don't have friends who are like that. And
But have you asked him why?
Yeah,
What
why
does
does he
say?
think that?
So this is what happened. He actually came to me and he looked like he was freaking out. So he told me, "Mommy, I think I'm bisexual." And I'm like, "How do you know?" And he said, "Well, there's this." He goes to camp and he's like, "There's this boy in camp that I liked." And the twist of this is we read your character. What do you call it? The books, healing character piece. The books you guys have, the devotionals.
Yeah,
Oh,
you read
yeah,
the
yeah.
devotion. 100 days of
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
100 days, yes. We're reading 100 days of healing. And one of the days was talking about not fearing. And then apparently that verse is what made him go out and tell this boy that he actually liked him. And I'm like, why would you? I didn't get that. But anyway, so he came from camp and told me that he told some boy that he liked him. And I asked him, "Why do you think you're bi? Have you ever liked girls before?" And he's like, "Yes," but he's never told me anything like that before. So I'm wondering why did he go out for this one? Why did he express himself on this one? He knows he's not supposed to date, first of all.
All right. So let's
yeah.
let's see what John has to say about a very difficult situation anytime a parent is faced with this. John, what are you thinking?
Yeah, Cindy, a couple of things that really help when you encounter this situation is, first off, to have what I would call non-interrogatory conversations where he feels like he's under the sweat lamps from the cops and what about this, what about this, what about this? Because, at 13, he's already in the de-parenting years, and if he's got a mom who is highly anxious that he might be bisexual, most kids will just learn how to hide better if they feel like the lamps are on.
Oh yeah, I played it so cool. I was like, okay, tell me how this came about. What do you think? How? So we just talked about
There you
it.
go.
I went and freaked out later, but
There you
when I
go.
was with him, I was pretty calm.
Okay. Well, you need to do it again and again and again. In other words, I would make this part of the normal conversations any mom has with a teenager, just like it's about drugs, just like it's about faith, just like it's about sports. You make that part not sort of a one-and-done thing, because he needs to talk to a healthy person, a godly person who loves him and is on his side to process this through. So you just say, I want to keep learning more about what you're learning, okay? As opposed to, don't do this or this. The other thing is, I would probably say, at some point, I would like for us to talk to some professionals about this and see how that works. Because he needs to have, he's got the world's viewpoint, he's got his friend's viewpoint, he's got our social media viewpoint, he's got yours, and that's good. But I would also say, can we have some conversations with some experts on this? We get all the information he can. That's where I would go with it.
So
All right,
let me
Okay.
just
go ahead,
add
Jill.
a couple of things.
The only thing I did is, in my freaking out, is I didn't tell them because he didn't want me to tell anybody yet. But I just told his dad and his stepdad and my brother, and I was like, y'all need to come into this boy's life and help me out. I didn't tell them why. And
He needs
I have
male
a village. I
connection.
called them a village, and I told them pray because I don't know what else to do.
No, that's really good. He needs that connection with other men that will come alongside him. I'm wondering, Cindy, if your son, if you see him emotionally as a little bit younger than his chronological age. The fact
What do
that,
you mean?
well, one, first of all, I think it sounds like you have a really good connection with him. He came to you. He told you this.
We trust you.
Yes.
But you refer to it that he said mommy, and I'm just wondering if maybe he's a little more emotionally young, and that's okay because in the junior high stage, they kind of span the spectrum. Some kids mature more quickly depending on the hormone development, some more slowly. It's really common for our first friendships in life to feel like love relationships. Really common amongst girls, but even amongst boys, that a best friend feels like someone you love, almost like you have infatuation feelings for that friend. And so to help him maybe make that distinction, and that then, we get to make choices about, how we pursue relationship, and that we can choose to not sexualize or not act on any sexualization. And what might that be about? To really, explore, well, what might those feelings be about for you? And let's just really understand, and let's not act on things before we really understand what it's about and what we really want in life. Because as you choose things, you kind of set the stage. Right?
I really like that, Jill.
Yeah, good.
And I did tell him to just put a whole, because we had this conversation and he was leaving, but I told him, okay, let's put a pin on it and get back to it, but I just didn't want to go back into it without knowing, so I've been waiting.
Right.
I called last week, but I wasn't able to get through, so I've been waiting to find out what else I can do before I can go back and have this conversation with him.
Right.
Well, and
Because-
I think you did something really great
Yeah, you
in
did.
calling on the men. I think the way you talked with him, I think all of that is really good. And I want to maybe Raising Great Kids would be a great book for her to get.
Can
And
I
we
just
could
add
send
another
that.
example?
Yeah, please.
It's just like when people marry, they're supposed to forsake all others, and we have to curtail our sexual appetite, right? And we make choices. That's another way to look at it, is that we get, giving him the power of choice here.
All right. I'm going to send you a book. I hope it will help you and encourage you. I'll also send you Take Your Life Back. One of the best conversations that I've had with Solomon, I started having these when he was 10. Solomon is a high IQ, went to a school that everybody has a high IQ. There are a lot of liberal thoughts there. And Solomon is very talented musician. He's great at art and stuff. And he's kind of like I was at his age. And I said to him, Solomon, some days you wake up, you feel more like a girl than you do a boy. Sometimes you think you like a guy so much that he's your boyfriend, but really it's just a friendship. And then the next day you don't even want to be around that guy. You want to be around a girl, whatever. I said it's just part of the growing up process that some people go through, especially talented people, bright people, creative people. So he says to me about 2 years after that, Dad, that was the most important conversation we have ever had. And all the others were a waste of time, but that one meant something to him. I wanted him to hear from me what it's all about, not from some other kid whose parents get excited about them being bisexual or homosexual. And so I'm so grateful that we had that conversation. And, if we can normalize, great word there, normalize this confusion and what Solomon experienced at age 10, because this 13-year-old is calling mom mommy, it might literally be at the same stage for him. But I hope these guys can come around and really help and be part of this. There are no quick fixes, no instant solutions, but passivity and rejection never help.
There you go.
Never help. All right. Hey, I'm really glad you're with us here today. I'm so glad John is here. We love it every time he's here. Finding Freedom Workshop is this Saturday, and you can still register. Chris Williams and I will be doing that. Freedom for your soul, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. That's what we have for you. We also have Henry Cloud and John Townsend's book, Growth Has No Boundaries. We will send that to you for a gift of any amount. Rarely do we do gift of any amount, but this is important. I wish everybody could read this book. You would be so grounded in biblical truth when it comes to emotional, spiritual, even physical health. It's all right here. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come right back. If you want to join us, 1-800-229-3000. Glad you're with us today.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. Really glad you're with us. Dr. John Townsend is here, author, Growth Has No Boundaries. And by the way, you can download our app, the New Life app, and it allows you to stream New Life Live broadcasts, catch up on the archived broadcast, read articles, enjoy video teaching. All that stuff is right there. Be sure and join me on Facebook Live, 5 o'clock Eastern, every weekday. I'd love to have you there. And also, I'm preaching on Labor Day at Northview Church. You can get that online, as you can get a lot of churches online right now. Lisa, Washington, D.C., WAVA. How can we help today?
Hi, my name is Carlos and Lisa, and thank you for taking my call.
Certainly.
My question is, okay, I've been married for 9 years, and most of the time we don't get along at all, and we haven't been for several years.
Oh, it's too bad. What's wrong with him that he can't get along with you? What's the matter with that guy?
Well, one of the things that he doesn't trust me, he thinks I'm going to gamble a little bit of money that we have away, and this is how it started. And so what he did was he took out my credit cards because he didn't want me to take any cash advancements. So then he kept the credit cards and he started using them. And then he got more credit in my name and spent that money. And then I had a townhouse before I got married. I moved in with him, so we rented out the townhouse. And instead of us having somebody manage it, he wanted to manage it. So it went for like 3 years, and then he finally start keeping the money for himself in his own pocket. And it's
Well, let me ask you
bringing
this,
money.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Do you have a little gambling problem there that is part of this?
I did, and I started going to GA.
Oh, good for
And-
you. Yeah.
And then we're in AA, so we both go to Alcoholics Anonymous, and he's been going there for many, many years, many more years than I've been going. I'm coming up on 13 years.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Way to go.
September.
Yeah. All right. So I want you to get some help here. Yeah. And you know, my suspicion is that we've got to get to the stuff beneath all this stuff. You know, all of these things that are happening here are just symptom of something much, much deeper here. Or you guys would be on each other's side, trying to build each other up, trying to help each other, not bring each other down, steal from each other, withhold money. Jill, John, what do you think? What could help her in this time?
Well, it seems like you've had good success in AA, is what I'm hearing. That you both have been able to work that program, and that you've even started going to GA. Is he open to also bringing his money issues into a 12-step program? Because we do know that addicts tend to cross-addict, right? And more is always better. So, you know, often the pattern is to lean in to do more of the same instead of what is helpful. But would he be willing to have some accountability in that area too, so that you guys could start to build some trust? Like if you're in Gamblers Anonymous, could he go to Debtors Anonymous?
No, he goes to GA.
Oh, he does. Okay.
He goes to Gamma 9.
Okay.
To support
Oh,
me.
Gamma. Okay, that's
his
good.
Reason for going, but it's like, I mean, that's not the only thing that's happened. I mean, I had $10,000 that I was taking him traveling with, and he took that and put it in his own separate account, and that's money gone too. So
he
I
feels
don't
highly
trust him at all
anxious.
with nothing.
He's highly anxious around you and money.
Yeah.
And are there amends that need to be made?
Yes, he just told me that's something that I told him that it's been a couple of years now, and it's hard for me to get over it. Every time something new comes up, when it comes to finances, it just brings those memories back, and I get pissed, and I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to leave him because I'm sick of this. I don't like him anymore. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. And I'm not going to go back and drink and drug again because he won't get the satisfaction that I went back out drinking and drugging again. And I don't want to kill myself. I haven't gotten to that point where I want to die.
No, we don't want that to happen.
We don't want that to happen.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Let me ask a question to Jill and John. You're ready to leave. What do you guys think she should do before she finally leaves? What should she try?
Lisa, you still with us?
Yes, I'm still with you guys, and we did try counseling, so I'm going to say that. We're going to have counseling this tomorrow, actually, and after we have the counseling session, everything is good for a day or two, but then it goes back to the same crap.
Okay.
I'm tired of it.
Sure you are. You sound exhausted. Are you bringing that up to the counseling, that this only lasts for a day and then we got 6 days of misery? Does the counselor know that?
Yes.
And so what happens when you say, this only works 1 out of 6 days, counselor? What does the counselor say?
Well, I'll just keep trying because I know we got married for better or for worse, and sickness and health.
All right, but the counseling, but the counseling sounds like it's working for the day, right? Something good's happening in that day, right? Fair enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then that means you probably need more structure and reminders and homework and a support group on the other 6 days to keep the good feelings and intimacy and safety and agreement between you. I would tell the counselor, we don't have enough in our lives. It gets just really toxic after 1 day with you. I need to learn how to do it, get a support group of people that love us. I need to get an agreements between him and me on money and get those things nailed down, and reminders. You need more structure, and ask the counselor about it, Lisa.
All right. This is perfect for intimacy and marriage intensity.
Friday night, we got into an argument, and I stayed in the car outside for 2 hours. I knew what the right thing to do was to go.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, July 25th.
You know, I know this stuff. I hear it, I read it, and I'm always getting in my own way. I'm always expecting my wife to go first.
Join Steve Arterburn.
We believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group leaders will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
My biggest takeaway was to just get out of my way and go first.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the Transformation Welcome Gift, which includes a personal-sized Life Recovery Bible, a Life Recovery Journal, and 5 Life Recovery Workbooks. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and I'm going to send you a Life Recovery Bible, Lisa. 3 million of those Bibles have sold now, over 3 million, and it's going to help you. It's going to help you pull this together. But I tell you, this is an example of where the strongest recovery program that you have, still you can benefit from a really, really great Christian counselor being on your team. That's what we want for you.
And Steve, yes, she said they were going to counseling, right? We were talking about that.
Yeah, and it's
working.
I
think, yes, and it's working for a day, so we need to capitalize on that day. But also, I think you started to mention our marriage intensive. I think that helps people to kind of be immersed in the issues in a very containing environment.
Yeah, Steve, build that out a little bit. That's a very good idea.
I think they need that to give them some more momentum.
Well, we literally have a history of people that hate each other come into this thing, and they pull their marriage back together, and then they start to grow back together because the issues they've been dealing with aren't really the issues at all. We're getting to the issues below the issues, you could say. And so I just encourage people, okay, if you're going to get a divorce, you need to be able to say, I did everything I possibly could do. You come to this as your last-ditch effort, you're not going to get a divorce. I mean, really, we got about 95% success rate with some of the toughest situations. So I could put you in touch with people that thought their life in marriage was done, and they were going to be living in an apartment away from the kids and the grandkids, and it's all back together. So that's what we want for you. If you want information on that, you can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That is the number to call. All right, let's go to Anna from Los Angeles, listening on KKLA. Hello, Anna. How are you today?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on?
I have a question to you, John Townsend.
Okay.
Right here.
Well, years ago, I heard you were telling a story about somebody that has a trauma, and she kept the secret of the trauma in her life. And the way you said that time, I feel like that was like what happened to me. So I felt like that was like my story, because the day I got married, my ex husband said that he didn't want to get married. He just used me to come to the United States because I met him in my country. Then we got married through justice. Then he said he was we're gonna get married here. So I brought him here, made the papers, and then on the wedding day he told me that he didn't want to get married. And so I feel like I had this trauma that I had to, because of the religion, and we shouldn't divorce those years. So we
I'm
had
so sorry.
Such a betrayal. Ugh.
So sorry.
So I feel like
It's okay.
my life stopped right there. So I feel like I'm still the same age when my life stopped that day. So I don't feel like I'm 77 years old. I feel like I'm 23 or 24, around age.
Well, what's the question
So
for
I
John?
want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know, how do you grow beyond that age? And
You were devastated in your 20s.
Yeah.
And you are now in your 70s, and your life still feels like you're devastated back then. Do I have that right, Anna?
yes, I'm not supposed to divorce because of the religion, and I thought maybe he might be different, but he got so mad that he said that he didn't want to get married, because it's like I forced him to church wedding.
Okay.
So
But are
he
you still,
told me-
I can't remember, are you currently married to him or divorced now?
No, I divorced him a long time ago.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you what the science says and what the Bible says that they all agree about when people have a devastating loss. And people do get through this. It's yours is particularly bad, but it is trauma. So let me tell you what happens. I don't remember what I said in the last thing we talked about, or you heard me on years ago, but I can just kind of...
No, that was years ago. I heard you on one seminar that I went.
Okay. God's solutions, Anna, are 2 or 3 things. One is that we must grieve. It says in Isaiah that we have a Savior, that Jesus was a person well acquainted with grief. Sometimes the grief process, which means being sad, crying, being comforted by people that love us, will release the stuckness and we can move on, because we can't hold the grief inside of us and move on. The second thing is that we need to replace the love that we thought we would get from people that do love us. Your husband was deceptive, lied to you, and you had dreams and hopes of a great life. He meant a lot to you. I think that might be why it's lasted for 50 years. He must have meant great things to you, like hope, love, a wonderful life. I mean, you probably had all of your hopes pinned on this. That's what we do when we get married, especially at an early age. You must find people. I don't mean other husbands, Anna. I mean people that know you, that can be vulnerable with you, that you can be vulnerable with. You must replace him with not just the Lord, but the Lord says also, it's not good that we be alone. You have to be people. So there needs to be somewhere around between 3 and 7 people in your life that are your best friends and will love you no matter what. And then the third thing is that you must adapt. We're finding out in the science especially that we have to begin doing new things that in your 70s, people nowadays they do art, they do ministries, they start businesses, they do church work. You must have
run for president.
You must have a lot of activities that are the new life for you. So it's the grief work, it's the replacement work, and it's the adaptive work of finding new things to do. And it will not be quick, Anna. I'm not going to lie to you, but in a few months you should start to feel better from this. If it's not better, certainly you got to see a counselor, but try this for right now.
Okay, I'm going to send you a Life Recovery Bible, and we've put together a workbook to help you to grieve using the 12 steps. I'm going to send that to you, and then I'm also going to send Healing is a Choice, because it has a whole section on grieving and how that can free us from the past. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you, but what's true for you is true for everyone. Some people, it's not that the next day they hear, I married you to become a citizen of this country. They hear, I wasn't even faithful to you during the engagement or something like that. So what do? You literally do have to do what John's saying. You have to replace that love with other people. Don't give up. You have to grieve the loss of the dream and the life that you thought you were going to have. And when you do that, you can be free to forgive and then move on even farther down the road. All right, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you need some help, we will help you. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Let's go to Jean, Baltimore, Maryland, and she listens on WAVA. Hi, Jean. How are you today?
I'm well, and yourself?
Doing okay. How could we help you?
Okay, I'm going to try and just make this in the nuts and bolts of this situation here.
Nuts and bolts. We like nuts and bolts.
We like nuts and bolts. You're a practical person, Jean.
My 28-year-old granddaughter, about a year and a half ago, we noticed that she was starting to complain that someone was stalking her and the co-workers were talking about her. And before then, she had had some good jobs since she finished college, but she weren't able to keep the jobs. So then she started accusing the parents of helping people to stalk her, and it got really bad. She moved out the house. She moved in with me. And so by a third-party counsel, I'm going to say, that my daughter and my son-in-law was doing, that counsel recommended that she get in and be checked. However, she didn't want that, and so she became very combative, and she would just take off. We finally had to get her to get checked, but we had to get the police involved in it to get her to the hospital. They would not keep her in the hospital since she's not a threat to herself or others, so they had to let her go. And this went on for a few months. She has never been in the hospital inpatient for no more than 4 days.
Before we go to a break, Jean, did any doctor give her a diagnosis, the name of a diagnosis? That'll help us a lot to help you.
Okay. Yeah, she was diagnosed this recently with bipolar and schizophrenia.
All righty. That helps.
All right. We'll give you some help right after this.
We'll help you.
Yeah. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you need some help, we would love to be there for you. We've seen so many people not just feel better, but transform their lives. One of the things that transforms us is changing the way we think, according to Romans 12:2. Growth has no boundaries. Will help you change the way you think. And transformation.
I'm about 100 pounds overweight. I'm 30 years old, and I'm just really discouraged. I'm scared, and I don't want to fail again.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. If you want to live free of obsessions and compulsions in your eating habits, New Life's Lose It for Life online workshop can help. The workshop features 6 main sessions presented by Steve Arterburn on topics like the importance of connection and relapse prevention, plus small group sessions led by a credentialed New Life Network counselor. This one-day online video conference workshop takes place Saturday, August 1st. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy lifestyle, call 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. We're talking with Jean, and she has a granddaughter who has been diagnosed bipolar schizophrenia. John, you want to continue here with Jean?
Yeah, we know that's a serious condition and that it takes a lot of maintenance and help and medical management because it's going to take some pills. So what's your question for us, Jean? How can we help?
We're looking for some directions here because she's been homeless for about a year, and she just takes off. We had a scare about a month ago when she went to New York, ended up getting stranded, and we pinged her phone and called the police. They took her to a hospital, but they released her. Mm-hmm. And my son-in-law found her at a bus station, bus route, a bus stop somewhere, just sitting in the dirt, crying, all dirty and everything. And so we took the car, and she said she would go to the hospital. So she was inpatient. Again, this time 4 days, again, she left. And she pretended to be going to a homeless shelter and came by and picked up the car, and now she's gone again. Says she was going to North Carolina somewhere. She doesn't know anybody in these areas, and we don't know where she is.
Jean, it sounds like she's never been compliant on meds.
No, she has not. She said it doesn't work, and she's been threatened to suicide, and it's hard to get a grab. We don't know which way to turn out. We don't know where she is, for one thing, And that's the heartbreaking part, when your child is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's really heartbreaking because she's got a double diagnosis, and it's usually alternating states. So you get one under control, and then the other one flares up. And so the medication is really, when they do stay on medication, they can have a normal life. I mean, there's some ups and downs, but they can have a fairly normal life. But she's got to get to a point where she's willing to do that. And I don't know if there is a board and care you could put her in, a place where they would monitor her meds, where they would help to, train her in terms of work and different things that would make her feel more productive about herself.
Yeah. Jean, does she have a cell phone that you can call her at?
She changes the number constantly. We don't know how to reach her. She calls her sister sometimes, but then she changes the number. Her sister can't reach her. Mm-hmm. Her sister was like the mediator for us to know that she was okay. She needed some money or something like that.
Here's what I would do. I mean, you're in such a situation that you have so little control over the situation. So much is beyond your control. And so I would do this. You or sister or whoever has the best relationship with her, call some number, my latest number, once a week. And that's number one. Just call once a week. You don't give up your life for that, and we all love people we don't like. Mm-hmm. And I do the same thing. Call once a week. And if you don't get anything, you just keep calling once a week. And you hope that one time she will call her sister. That seems to be the number one contact. And you instruct your sister the following to say, I want to help. Are you at a point where you know that you need help? And if she says, no, everything's great, just give me money, I would say, no, I don't do that. But at some point, here's what happens is that the meds, or not the meds don't wear off. They do, but
she's not on them.
But a thing called clarity comes in where she doesn't have the meds, but she's not so far down the psychotic path. There's a little window there, Jean, where she can go, I'm miserable, I need help. And you say, we'll go there and pick you up. And what you do is you say, we will be there if you'll promise that you'll take the meds. Now, when she goes psychotic again, she may not want to. Mm-hmm. But that's your best shot. Then you pick her up and you take her to not, if she's not safe, you got to take her to a hospital. But then I like Jill's idea of there's a place that will keep you, but you've got to promise that you will stay there. Now, what I would do then, if she bails on that like she always had, I would say from now on, we love you. We won't send you money. We'll be praying for you. Let us know when you're willing to make the commitments. That's about all we've got, because the psychotic part where the brain breaks down still tends to make her unable to take it. But if you can hit that window where she's not on meds, which she hates, she makes her feel drugs or mute or whatever, and she's not psychotic, that's when she's clear and she goes, I need help. You got to get as much help as you can into that window at that time, and I would enlist my sister for that.
All right, that's really great, John. Good advice.
So hard.
Let me send you John's book here, Growth Has No Boundaries. I hope that that's going to be helpful to you. I think that it will. You know, the one freedom I wish we could take away is for people like this and force them to take medication, because it's just so frustrating.
I wish it was like a bubble gum machine.
Yeah.
You just go past it and hit the dispenser.
Yeah. And a lot of people, they preach against or speak against medication. And I'm telling you, in these kind of cases, you know, outside of the medication, there's not going to be a normal, productive life. But, you know, sometimes you get the right medication, a schizophrenic person can really have a great life. The medication
It's not a lack of faith. It's that the brain is not working. It's like saying nobody should have kidney medicine. That's a sin. Well, no, your kidney's not working. Your brain's an organ. And there's so many great medications that can help the brain. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I hope and pray that if you need medication, you won't feel guilt or shame or anything like that over taking it, and you'll just continue to take
Steve,
it.
I think you've been on the forefront of that. I love how over these years you've always been such a gracious and educated host on, if you need meds, take them. Sure, we need the talk therapy. We need lots of talk therapy. We need the church. We need God. We need the Bible. But take the meds if you need them. I think you've kind of been such an advocate for that.
Well, I tell you, if I wasn't taking my medication, you wouldn't even be able to talk to me. I'd just be horrible. So
or entertaining. Sometimes you can be very entertaining. I mean,
yeah. But I'm telling you, the attention deficit disorder that I have, and a few other disorders too, I'd be doing disorderly conduct. I've got so many disorders. So I believe it could be
and we're happy for you.
Such a great help. And so many people are struggling needlessly because they're thinking, oh, well, that's not good. And well, you know, if you don't need it, it's not good. But when you need it, oh my goodness, you know, God actually provides us with wisdom and insight. People say, you know, well, Paul didn't take medication. No, Paul didn't have a dentist either, but he sure could have benefited from one. I'm sure. So anyway, 1-800.
I would have never had that thought, Steve.
Yeah.
This is why I love you. I would have never thought that in my life.
Well, it's true. So well, if Paul didn't have something, you know, he didn't have a car, so I'm not going to drive a car. It just makes no sense. It's ridiculous. All right. So really glad to have John here, and I'm so thankful for this book, Growth Has No Boundaries. John, give us the 8-second summary that you did on the other program.
The book is about the reality that the Bible holds all of the solutions for our emotional, relational, and personal lives. You can depend on it.
That's right. You bet. You know, just as archaeology doesn't uncover something that people go, uh-oh, well, the Bible's all wrong here. Psychology doesn't uncover something in research or discovery that said, oh, well, the Bible's all wrong here. Hey, it supports it, actually. And if it didn't, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. We're not stupid. We believe. I mean, okay, but the degrees. But I'm telling you, we believe the truth of this Bible, and we believe it's supported by the research. Oh, my goodness.
Can I tell you what? Have I got 20 seconds to tell you why I love this?
The
reason I study neuroscience so much in my writings and everything nowadays, Steve, is because it's not new information for God, but it affirms that all the things the Bible says about relationships and comfort and growth and resilience, they're all in the Bible. It's like there's this big tapestry called truth, and God finally gets, because of the science, he gets a little credit as the author of this at the bottom of the tapestry. So that's why I love this stuff.
So true. Well, I tell you, you start messing with God, you discover he's really smart. Hey, call us if you need help. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We love you.
Thanks
See you
for
next
listening.
time.
We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.